2023 WRX Premium model with a 6-speed manual transmission, magnetite gray paint. Main options are the Harman Kardon stereo system and the sunroof. I'm going to show you all the best features of this car as quick as I can. I respect your time. The cladding on these cars is plastic. It's a little controversial, but it is functional. The front fenders have some pretty cool holes. Probably helps with aerodynamics just a tiny bit. The plastic itself helps protect the car from rock chips. The car basically has like stock ground effects. These have a little angle to them. Gives the car a nice little character, a little flair. The rear fenders have a little side marker here, and interesting, they actually extend onto the rear door, unlike with the front. The rear bumper has quite a lip to it, definitely attracts some dirt. The rear bumper has these slits here that I do believe help with the aerodynamics, probably more than the front fenders. The holes on the front fenders probably don't do much, but I do think these help quite a bit. It'd be interesting to see a before and after if you put it in a wind tunnel and you clog these up, but it's kind of neat, nice little neat touch. You do get this sort of like little mini diffuser kind of thing here. This is obviously not functional at all, but it looks cool. This area is super difficult to clean. Interestingly enough, it is not a hole. It doesn't have any holes. This is something people will mod. Also interesting to note, this plastic piece that goes around the mufflers can be removed. You see there's seams. These are the factory lights with the caution lights on. These stock fog lights have a nice color to them. Pretty bright. This lip spoiler is not factory, just for the record. Everything else is. Nice LED headlamps here. This top piece though on the premium trim does nothing. It's just nothing. The front end of the car with the lights on looks quite nice, especially the fog lights. That's why I recommend the premium model on these vehicles, so you at least get those fog lights. They look nice. The rear taillights are very nice once lit up. They almost have a lava-like look to them. Especially at night, won't be able to show you right now. But if you look very closely, you see all this little sort of like broken glass kind of look in here. This really refracts light at night, looks very nice. The car is now in reverse. The reverse taillights are here and they are a very bright LED. Some people replace them, but they're pretty bright. So overall, some cool taillight action going on back here. This piece is completely solid. But you do get a nice little design in here, some edges. It would be nice if they had put a hole here maybe for aerodynamics. This front piece is about the same, but a decent amount of airflow up and into the radiator. This is what the car looks like from the side. The factory wheels are a metallic gray. It matches the metallic gray paint from the factory on this particular model, this paint. These are the stock tires, Dunlop SP Sport Max GTs. They're a 245/40/18 size. This car has about 11,000 miles on it. It is my personal car. I drive it relatively soft when I'm not making videos. It sees a lot of highway action, and as you can see, it has a decent amount of tread left. If you drive the car hard, you'll probably barely make it to 10,000 miles on these tires. If you drive it more like I do, you might be able to get almost 15,000 before you have to replace them. You get a Subaru badge on the rear, symmetrical all-wheel drive badge, and a WRX badge. This fake carbon fiber trim did come from the factory. It was an option. Pretty large Subaru badge. Rear backup camera. Interestingly, the license plate illumination lights are just regular halogen lights, not LED. Something good to replace. This is the button for opening the trunk. Also, there is a third brake light. The trunk is decently sized, enough for one full-size suitcase. Fitting two would be pretty tricky. These cars do not come with a spare. This tray was an option. This cargo net was also an option. You attach it to both sides, can have your little cargo on there. This car also came with this option. You can hang stuff on here, groceries. Back here we have a tiny light that basically does absolutely nothing. The rear seats do fold down, both of them. And so if you don't need to use the back seats for a particular reason, you can fit quite a lot in this vehicle. If you're a couple traveling, for example, you'll very easily be able to fit 2 suitcases in this car if you put the seats down. No problem at all. The hood release is here, and the interior trunk release is here. Even though this is a premium model, you have a bunch of switches here still empty. Obviously, these cars come with a nice hood scoop. To fully pop the hood, the latches move to the left. Comes with hydraulics, so you don't have to put the little stick. Holds itself up on its own, very nice. Here we have the 2.4 liter turbocharged FA engine. Makes 275 horsepower, is really more about 300. Something like 260 foot-pounds of torque. Not a particularly impressive engine bay, but also not bad. It's nice that it's not all covered up. Of course, this is your intercooler. It will absorb a lot of bugs, and rocks will fly in there and ding it up. There's absolutely nothing in the hood scoop, no grating or anything. It's just pure airflow all the way in. The stock airbox has this pretty thin channel here, piece of plastic, and pulls in air from the front grille. So no, on these WRXs, the air intake is not this hood scoop. This is just for the intercooler. Also, the stock grille on this MGM paint car from the factory is this color, so it also color matches. This is why I chose this color for this car. I do think it's the best stock color, but I do think these cars look awesome in every color. And if you're gonna mod the car and add new rims and stuff like that, then it doesn't really matter which color you pick. You can make them all look good. But it's just my personal opinion that the MGM here is the best from the factory. The roof, you do get this nice color matched shark fin antenna, and you do get this spoiler on the Premium, totally non-functional. Looks okay. While we have the sunroof open, this plastic grate comes up and helps with the airflow. Definitely helps a lot, but I suspect it is the cause of rattling. These cars do rattle like pretty much every modern Subaru. We also have a camera pretty well hidden behind the rearview mirror. This is factory. This car has no automatic braking or any driver assist or anything like that. Very interestingly, this camera's entire purpose is just to check oncoming traffic for when you have the automatic high beams on. When you have the automatic high beams on, when this camera detects a vehicle coming the other way, it will switch the high beams off. This is just my Garmin dash cam. This is not from the factory. The door handles do have a traditional keyhole, just in case. This is what the factory key fob looks like. If for some reason this died, you would press the silver button. This key would come out. You can put it into the door and unlock the car that way. The key fob has a giant Subaru button on it for unlocking. As long as you have this key on your person, here's how you can lock and unlock the car. You can press this button to lock it. To unlock it, put your hand inside. To lock, press this button. Now it's locked. Put your hand inside and it will unlock. Okay, sitting inside the car, this is what it sounds like when you start it. It almost sounds like a tractor. It's interesting. It's not a fake sound though. It's just the sound of the engine. The steering wheel has buttons on the left side, and up and down and middle button. Let me show you what they do, as you can see here. So if you press up, you can cycle through different pieces of information. So you can see your average MPG. You could see the boost. Temperature is hot in time. This very annoying XSM preview with a phone number on it. Very annoying thing about modern cars. Your tire pressure, this does not show until you drive the car for a little bit. Usually not much, maybe half a mile. This keeps track of your trip. It automatically resets each time. This is your current MPG and distance to empty left. And now we're back. Not too many options. And then you have your trip A and trip B. On the stock, very basic selections: auto, daytime running lights, or full on. And then the fog lights are controlled here. Windshield wiper controls on the right. Cruise control here, very simple. Volume control and some buttons. These are mainly for use when your phone is connected. They don't really do anything up here. You have a traction control button here. You press this, traction control will come off. If you hold it, you can disable more of the driver aids. We have factory plastic carbon fiber on the door handles on both sides and in the rear. You also get a little fake plastic carbon fiber on the steering wheel with WRX emblem. Red stitching, leather steering wheel, flat bottom. Here's your pedals, your clutch, your brake, your gas. You'll notice the brake and the gas are pretty far apart. It can make heel toe a little difficult. And then a footrest. Factory floor mats. These stock seats are bucket seats, manual adjustment. Only the higher level trims, I believe, have the electronic adjustment. You can tilt the headrest forward, pull it all the way forward and back to reset it if it gets stuck in a spot you don't like it. These cars, unlike most modern cars, still have a good old-fashioned manual e-brake. Very nice. Here you get some cup holders. This piece does come out, and these are rubber. These can also come out. Can also put stuff here. It's plastic, it's very slippery, so anything you put here will rattle. This really should have had one of these rubber pieces in here to improve it. Here's your shifter, factory shifter. There are other options, but this is just the standard one. To go into reverse, you pull up on the shifter, move it over all the way to the right and to the back. And now you're in reverse. 6-speed manual, so first is here, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Pardon the mess, this is my personal car. You do get a 12-volt outlet over here in the factory center console. Can't fit too much in there. From the factory, you have an aux cord plug, so you can plug your phone in or whatever device, listen to music. You get another 12 volts, and you get 2.1 amp regular USBs, not USB-C. You also have a little cubby here to put stuff, and this rubber piece is removable. Sitting in the rear, I am 6'3". The seat is all the way back, so I barely fit, but I do fit. On a long trip, this would be pretty uncomfortable, but you know, tolerable maybe for a half an hour, 30 minutes. Of course, the driver could come up a little bit. Decent amount of room in these cars. Rear passengers get 2 classic USB-A style plugs. Interestingly, the driver's side seat has nothing behind it, but the passenger seat has a little hole here. You can put stuff in there. The rear doors can fit absolutely nothing. Same with the front. This is a pretty standard sized water bottle. It's not a big one, pretty normal. It will fit in the cup holders, but that is going to block your shifting. Can get a little annoying, but nothing really fits in these side pieces. You could fit a small drink like this. The vents have a cool slim design to them. You twist this knob back and forth to control the flow. Very nice. And they can be adjusted up and down. Same thing on the sides, exact same piece. All of the window switches are auto, which is a nice feature. Even the rear passenger ones. 1 tap up, 1 tap down. Also nice, obviously, the rear windows will go all the way down. Although the rear seats have decent size and a 6'3" person like me can fit, they do become a bit of a problem for car seats. When the car seat is in a regular position like this, you're good. But watch what happens when you need to have a rear-facing seat when you have a very young child, a newborn. Doesn't fit. This seat is all the way back, so you can pull this lever, bring the seat up. Again, for any aspiring parents out there, this is good stuff to know. This is a relatively big car seat, but it's not that big. Now, to make it fit, that's how far up the front seat would have to go. Now, I'll sit in here to show you how much room the person sitting in the front would have left. Again, I'm 6'3". This is far more uncomfortable than me sitting in that rear seat. This would be very uncomfortable over any distance. But obviously you can make this work if the person that's going to be sitting here isn't that big. Also important to note, if you're going to need 2 car seats that might have to face in the rear, if you're going to have 2 young kids, this car's not going to work. But to be fair, that probably won't happen to you. You have your first, and once they're in the rear seated position, then you're good. But just something to note for people who might have kids close together. Now, when you get out of the vehicle and close the door, it will beep like that to let you know that it has detected that the key is not in the car and the door has been closed. It's a good reminder, but it can get a little annoying. You'll also get something that will warning that will flash up on the dash. It's gone now, but it'll say access key not detected. The rear sunroof has a slide forward and back feature. It opens and closes pretty fast. This will function at any speed, but disclaimer, I have not tested it up to 100. It also will tilt, open and close. Now the climate control, which I need on right now because I'm cooking, it's partially touch and partially digital on these premiums. You get this iPad. Let's go over the iPad because there's a lot here. So first of all, let's turn on the air conditioning because I'm cooking. You have to do the touch. I'm gonna turn up to max for a second and cool myself down and continue. Okay, that's a bit more tolerable. So in terms of climate control, you'll be using these buttons a lot. You have your heated seats for the driver and the passenger, 3 different levels. You tap this button, you wait and it lags, and then you get all your options here. So you can control the temperature for each side very precisely using this slider, touchscreen slider. It's fairly responsive, or you can just tap these buttons up and down. Usually it works pretty fast, but when you want your phone to connect, it can take a while. As you can see, there's a bit of a lag, but it's barely tolerable. It's fine. Once you get used to it, it's fine. But I really hope cars go back to just physical buttons. There's nothing like a physical button. Your caution lights are up here. Music. Music is adjusted from this knob. You tap it to mute. Now, interestingly, this car has almost no settings that you can adjust for the car. You press this little car button here, and all you can adjust is whether you want it in miles or in kilometers per hour. That's it. There's nothing else. That's what this one button does. Here, You can have driver profiles. I'll be honest, I've had this car for a year. I have no idea what that does. So 2 buttons here that do stuff that you'll just never use. Here in the settings, you can actually adjust quite a few things, such as a birthday list. You can add birthdays to your car. You can turn off and on the welcome screen. Oh, well, didn't realize that. I'm going to turn that off. I had already turned off the goodbye screen. This is kind of neat. Under climate control, you can adjust just this one button. So for now, it's on AC on and off, but you can change it to max AC. You can change it to auto, recirculator, and sync. I prefer to have it on AC, but it is nice that you can cycle through these and have something different on there. I kind of wish I could have the recirculator and the AC over here. You can connect the car to a Wi-Fi hotspot. This is fun. So on the dash, you have this MPG thing. I never use it. You can also set this to outside temperature and clock. Seems redundant to me because it's also on the top. And you can also set it to the gas range. In fact, I think I'll leave it on gas range. I want to switch to that. Now under sound, you can do quite a lot of adjustment on the sound. So you can set all your alerts and stuff. This is good for when the phone is connected. And of course, also you can do all your phone settings here. Comes with CarPlay and Android Auto. This car does not come from the factory with a wireless option. I use this for my Android phone, this Motorola connector, and it works great actually. It's worked perfectly for a year now. And lastly, you can do some adjustments, mainly stuff that has to do with like locking and unlocking the car and the lights. These cars have a one-touch lane signal, like a BMW, so you just tap it and it'll blink 3 times. It takes some getting used to at first, but I've grown to like it, so I leave it on. But if you don't like it, you can turn it off. Now to adjust these widgets up here, you go back to General. You can scroll down to Favorite Widgets, and you can adjust here. So I have the accelerator, the oil temperature, and the angle. Unfortunately, there's really not that many options on here. So you can do the weather, the water temperature, but all it says is just normal or not. It kind of sucks. You can do your average speed. I'll be honest, this is pretty disappointing with these cars. I really wish there was more options. Now from the home screen, they have this car info button, which is like completely useless, honestly. And that's all you get. You can just see the angle, you can see maintenance, and you can keep track of all your maintenance in the car. I don't. You do have some apps on here, but really not much. The radio, but if you're like me, you're probably not going to be using the Sirius XM radio, having to pay for it, and you probably don't listen to AM or FM radio anymore either. But if you do, it's here. Now you can adjust this middle one, but there's these automatic ones that you can't adjust that have the radio on here and the weather data. But that is the bulk of the functionality of the touchscreen. You get way more when you connect your phone, but I'm not going to really show that because not everybody has an Android. Some people have iPhones. No duh. Oh yes, on the sunroof you get this manual window shade. Good for today when it's super hot. You do have front and rear door light switches, LEDs. Oh, one more thing I didn't show. The rear passengers get a couple cup holders, so that's nice. Leave that down. And so yeah, that's really about 95% of the features of this vehicle. Hey, if you enjoyed this style of video where I show you everything like really fast without really any fluff or anything like that, let me know. Leave me a comment, let me know. I'll make more. Like the video, subscribe, and somehow I'll gain access to other vehicles and I'll do these kind of breakdowns on them. Show you every little feature. All right, that's all I got for now, so I'll see you guys in the next video.